appears we are live. What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is episode 98. We're going to continue this map illustration. Seems to be coming along nicely. I'm loving it. Uh, I probably can't say that, huh? Loving it. But yeah, so we're just gonna pick it up, and just as I was saying yesterday, we're just going to continue rendering and throwing in more color here, and I'll probably, increase the water and push the water a bit more. So yeah, gonna work on the land first, water second, and then who knows, maybe by the next stream I'll actually start inking and sharpening this up and getting it where we want it. Let me adjust this camera, get that top down look. There we go. Is this a decent angle? Looks crooked. There we go. It's more or less. Try to get the right angle. It's a drafting table, so things are always crooked. I got Video Games playing in the background. They're going to be playing Resident Evil Outbreak 2. I skipped over the first one just because I was like, ugh, like it was a struggle to listen to, but maybe it was just me that day. So I'm just gonna let that one play in the background. I might even have to lower the volume because I think that they're being like loud, and obviously I might actually have something to say. Who knows? But I'm wondering. Oh yeah, they're talking about Scarlet Witch. Yeah, Steve's having a problem with the show, which is fine. He can. People are gonna have their opinions. Oh yeah, didn't I want to darken up these trees? I wonder if this is gonna. Yeah, at least Steve is willing to listen to their explanations of it. I don't know how much they're trying to set her up as Dark Phoenix. I heard those sort of comparisons. Trying to set up Wanda in the MCU as a Dark Phoenix character. Could be. Like, I could see it. Yeah, that Quicksilver thing was it did throw us off, but again, man, I don't know. I'm pretty lenient when it comes to things. If I ever really do have a gripe, I'll make sure to like really pronounce it. But I mean, it barely ever happens. I kind of just enjoy things and let them be. You know, it's just Civil War over and over again. Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. Kenny's upset they were not going to see Iron Man vs. Mandarin, which could possibly be true. Maybe in a What If, in that What If series, the animated series that they're putting together, we might be able to see something like that. But yeah, that's true. I mean, I mean, but they could fix everything too. You know what I mean? Like they could really set that up if they wanted to. I mean, I feel at this point like the MCU is capable of doing anything. I mean, I wouldn't worry about anything that the MCU does. They're gonna have hits, they're gonna have misses. But at the end of the day, it's all relatively gonna be good. Um, I think Thor: The Dark World is kind of the telltale for that, just because nobody enjoyed that movie, and then by Endgame, they made it so relevant that people went back and watched it and kind of gave it a second like what for their money for it. And I mean, to go back and watch a bad movie a second time goes to show that maybe the movie isn't so bad. Um, you know, this whole cinematic universe thing is something new. It's taking the trilogy concept and pushing it towards television. You know what I mean? All we're doing is seeing like super budgeted television, and we get to watch it on the big screen. You know what I mean? That's what the MCU's doing. I mean, this pandemic is kind of taking us taking it away from the silver screen, but like life finds a way, man. Life will find a way. And right now it's all Are they talking about John Wick now? Wow. Hey, what's up, Kate Plate? What's up, Grid GM? How's it going, guys? Wow, thanks for the raid. That's craziness. I think this is your first. I believe this is the first time I've seen your name here. You rated my channel, man. I appreciate that. That's craziness. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm just drawing, working on this map some more. I have a few hours on my hand to do this, and then I'm listening to Yo Video Games in the background, and they're talking about like the Marvel movies and things like that. They're doing their little argument thing, so I'm kind of just like commentating over it while I work on this. Oh, sweet. Hey, thanks, man. I've been working on this map. Um, I mean, I don't know how many streams now. I don't know what part this is, but it's been like 3 weeks or something like that. But I work on it like, you know, really spaced apart. But yeah, this is a map that I'm working on for this whole world that I'm creating. End goal is to make animated videos of it, but there's a whole lot that has to go into it before I get to that level. So I'm just doing kind of the production work and the production background stuff. So I'm creating these worlds, and I've kind of created rough versions of these maps. That sort of patience. I just draw silly cartoons. Hey man, that's how I started. Hey, thanks, Wizard. Hey, that's how I started, man. I started with just drawing silly cartoons. You know that. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to do is make a cartoon, and I'm sure I'll have some silly parts in it. I got some silly characters. Yeah. So what I do is I'll work on a map, and then as I'm working on the map, I'll work on environments for that map. And my channel's pretty young, pretty new. So let me see if I can find the old map that I worked on. There we go. So this was the first map that I worked on, and I've never made a map before, so it's kind of rough. But I started with a really basic place so that way I can kind of practice and learn with. It's kind of like a snowy kind of thing, and then I'll work on the map, and then as I'm working on the map, I work on other stuff too, but I work on environments. Like I'll zoom in on the map and start actually like kind of detailing and doing some concept art, and just like, okay, how do the people in this place live, and what are certain environments, what do those look like, and what's happening. And then, as I'm working on environments, some prop stuff, just to kind of give the people of that place like, you know, uh, how do they work. And really the focus on that was the metal and the metal color and the fact that it's going to be gold metal, just so that it contrasts really well against the kind of snowy blue background. But then I also work on characters that pertain to that land. So, this is all like character concept art. And then, yeah, continue. This is some more character concept art for there. From that icy place, and these are some statues that are there. That's kind of why like they're frozen over and things like that. And yeah, after I finished with that land, because there was only like 3 characters and not that many locations and things like that, I started working on the next piece, and that icy place is kind of like down here, so we kind of moved up the map a little bit. Uh, and yeah, hey, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep I just keep at it, you know. But yeah, it all starts with drawing silly cartoons, man. I mean, what, 20 years ago, even 20, 25 years ago, all I did was draw like Dragon Ball Z and things like that. And then I started working on other things after that. Like, I got into tattooing, comics, uh, I got a degree in animation, got into graphic design. I had to give up video games. I give up playing video games, but I watch people play video games all the time. Kind of like how I'm watching video games in the background right now. And I just look at the artwork, and I get like art books, and I look at the artwork in there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to create a map for this world that I'm working on, and it just kind of happens. I just kind of throw these things together. This is the second map I've ever made, so I really appreciate it, man. That it's actually like it actually comes off as a map to people. Because yeah, when I start working on something new, it's like oof, it's kind of scary. It's like I can fumble this ball at any moment. There we go. So yeah, I started kind of down in the South Pole, so we're kind of moving up towards the equator of this planet, and so yeah, it gets a little more jungly, gets a little bit deserty in this area, and yeah, it, it's a whole big world where there's plenty more maps to come. There's probably like 10 maps altogether, and there's only the second one, so yeah. These guys are still talking about movies. That's hilarious. They're like, yo, so we're gonna boot up this video game. And 20 minutes later, they're still talking. Okay. Wow. I didn't know people had an issue with Tony Stark not paying the Avengers. And we don't even know if that's true. Sam could have just been like, Sam's just trying to get a loan for the boat. in the show. I don't know if and also it's to help his sister out. His sister needs the loan. He's not going to use that Avenger money to pay for his sister. He's going to help her get the loan, so he's going to go through the bank. Mm. I needed to fix this. When I was working on this last night, I was like, something's wrong with this character. So I gotta add a bit here. There we go. I'll clear that up later on. And yeah, I'm wondering what I want to do with this roadway. This kind of highway system. I mean, I know it's kind of concrete. I don't know if I want to make it gray or what. Let me see. Yeah, because if I make it gray, it'll be the same color as these buildings. You know what, maybe I just try to make it a little more like ivory or something. But yeah, I really appreciate that raid, man. I was this is basically what I do. I'll do traditional work, I'll do digital work. I kind of I do commissions on my Patreon and on Fiverr. So I'll work on a bunch of like character portraits from time to time on here, and I work on a bunch of stuff. But the main thing is this project here. I wrote this story out. I took like 5 years away from doing art and just focused on writing, so that way I can create something original and all that good stuff. And then that's when I kind of realized, oh, I need maps. So I started creating maps, and now I just put it into production. So I build the world, the characters, the environments, everything, just like a production line. And then once I'm done with this, I'll start with yeah. Yeah, there are. Sometimes I'll just jump in because I stream art, so it'll suggest artists to me sometimes, and I'll just jump in and watch other ones just to see how they do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm so new to Twitch, I had no idea how to do this. So sometimes I'll jump in on another artist's channel and just kind of watch and be like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? You know? But yeah, there's a lot of really good, talented people on here. But I mainly watch video gamers, people that I watched on YouTube, and then they also have a Twitch channel, so it's like, okay, I'll check them out on Twitch. So what do you do, Kate? You're a gamer, I guess. I always just assume everyone's like a video gamer on Twitch. That seems to be the the prerogative of everyone on here, since Twitch is kind of like a gaming channel. And I was always like, yeah, these are my people. You know, I was always hoping to create a digital a digital version of Artist Alley. You know, whenever I go to conventions and draw for people and meet people and things like that. Okay, you draw as well. Awesome. Character design? Sweet. Dude, that's awesome. I can't wait to till I get to some do some character design and actually make like the character boards and things like that. Like right now it's all just the concept art, so I just kind of throw dope illustrations. But then once I get done with all this production stuff and then I jump onto like character boards, yeah, I'll definitely put that together. But that's cool, man. Some silly stuff. Put it good fun. World building and landscapes are less my wheelhouse, and I love them. Yeah, yeah, me as well, man. Like I said, this is the second map I've ever drawn, and I only did it because it's kind of necessary for me to visualize the world and everything that goes in it. Like this, none of this should be taken literally, but it is to say like, okay, there's ice down here, there's a destroyed city here, there's a beautiful city there, there's a port here where boats dock. You know, there's a highway system here, but and none of it is kind of visually represented yet. So that's kind of why I do this, to be able to put a bit of a visual to it, and then once I get to actually doing the environment concepts, that's when I'll focus and really draw it the way I want to. But yeah, I always focused on characters my whole life too, and so yeah, this is a completely new thing for me. And yeah, it's interesting, you know. You it's like learning, you know what I mean? Just learning a different set of skills, and then you might learn some things working on this that can help you with working on characters, believe it or not. Oh, now they're talking about Godzilla vs Kong again. That's where they started the conversation. They started the conversation on Godzilla vs Kong. Here we go. Is this yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. Oh, they're talking about the fight math between the fights. That's hilarious. That's why I'm working on the story that I'm working on. It's actually a lot about fight math and how it doesn't really compute how one character can lose to another character, but that loser to that one can beat a character that, it's like rock paper scissors kind of. All right. Well, thanks Kate Plate. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good night. All right. I really appreciate it, man. Ciao. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's got to be one of the craziest feelings, just looking down and being like, "You've been raided." Like, what? But yeah, I guess I really haven't talked about my show all that much, or like what I'm working on here. And yeah, I don't want to give away too much, But I thought maybe I'd definitely speak about it more when I get to certain characters and I start explaining away characters because then that would kind of explain the world. Yeah, get this one. But yeah, this everything that I'm working on goes towards this show that I'm working on, and it is kind of like fighting video game, the movie. You know what I mean? Just pick any sort of fighting video game, any video game fighter. Name one. Whether it's like Street Fighter, or Guilty Gear, or Mortal Kombat, like just any fighting game, Tekken. And yeah, in the midst of creating all that, it became like, okay, I got a lot of characters here, and they're from a lot of places. I need to start visualizing everything. Yeah, the fight math in Godzilla vs Kong. I don't even know if I want to talk about it because it's kind of spoilery. It's kind of why I'm kind of biting my tongue talking about it. But it kind of just deals with this person beat that person, or like rock beat paper, paper beat, uh, or wait, paper beat rock, rock beat scissors, but then scissors beats paper. So, it, you know, okay. Oh yeah, didn't I want to check? When I was illustrating this thing, when I was first just drawing it out in pencil before I even got to like rendering it out with colors and markers and all that stuff. Um, I do a lot of research, like as far as like oh okay, I need a lighthouse here, so let me look up lighthouses. I need some buildings that look like this over here. So I research a lot of things. That's probably one of the more exciting parts about working on a map is like all the research you get to do to look up things. Like when I was working on like the mountains for the icy place, I had to like look up, like the Appalachian Mountains or Mount Everest and just kind of look at that. Something I would never do on my own. Uh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, it was simple rock, paper, scissors math. That's what the movie was. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. Like, just watch it, get entertained. I haven't watched Kong Skull Island. I think I watched it like when it first came out, and now it's probably it. So I may owe that one another watch, just because now that this movie's out, a lot of people are talking about how like they're comparing all the movies, and obviously the Godzilla movies kind of had their ups and downs. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I want to do for sure. Uh, wow. I mean, I wonder if they'll ever make another movie. Wow. This whole public domain thing is also interesting. I forget what the specific rules are, but the rules with public domain is like once something like you can invent a character and then you own them whatever, but I think like you only get to own them for like 70 years. I think it used to be like 50 years before or like 40 years or something, I forget. But let's say 70 years, and Disney, they had to like pay a ton of money to change the rule. Like they changed the overall rule, not just for themselves, but I think they changed the law to maybe they upped it to 70. I forget the number, whether 70 was the original number or not. And because Mickey Mouse, he was invented in what, the 30s, and then coming up on like the year 2000, like he was going to become public domain, which means anybody can do anything with Mickey, I believe. You know what I mean? Like you'd be able to write a Mickey Mouse story, and Disney couldn't tell you like that you can't do that because it's public domain at that point, so you actually could. So in order to stop people from being able to do that, for better or for worse, um, Disney paid a whole lot of money to make sure that Mickey Mouse didn't go in to public domain, and they won. They paid whoever they needed to pay, and they changed the law, and Disney, Mickey Mouse wasn't on the public domain block anymore. Well, whatever amount of time that they paid for is coming up now. Like what's the saying? The chickens are home to roost or something like that. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It is time is up. Time is up on Mickey Mouse, and pretty soon he'll be public domain. So unless Disney pays another fortune for it, which I don't know if they actually will, I don't know what could possibly happen. You know, because they did everything like last minute, right up until Disney was or Mickey Mouse was like due. Uh, yeah, they were just talking about how like, oh yeah, you could have Batman versus Mickey Mouse coming up pretty soon because they're both going to be entering public domain. And it's like, damn, they're not lying. And you got to think, man, after they put in so much time and money into trying to keep them, how much are artists now that they're aware, like like salivating at the mouth to try to do some work on some Mickey Mouse stuff that they would have otherwise never been able to do. Oh wow, they're finally playing. They're finally getting the game going. There we go. We still focus. Oh, I'm all the way at the top of the shot. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I can't wait to actually go in with the micro pens and clean all this up. This is always one of the steps in the process when I start to do render these things out with just color. Cause I'll lay the colors down before I lay down the black ink, just cause I don't want these light colored markers to pick up the re-wet the black ink, pick it up, and then start you know like smearing the black ink across the map and things like that. So because I work with all these colors and they're all so middle toned, holy shit. I never saw the Jumanji movies. They're talking about how it's better than the originals. I love Jumanji. Wow, man, I love Jumanji. I thought everybody did. I'm talking about the original one. By the way, and I haven't seen the remakes or the new ones yet, and I haven't heard any opinions of it either. What's your favorite Robin Williams movie? Silence. I mean, I really liked Hook. I rewatched that Peter Pan movie that he did, that Robin Williams did. You know, with Rufio, voice of Zuko. So yeah, I mean, with Robin Williams, I'd say like between Aladdin, his performance as Genie in Aladdin, I mean, is un unrivaled. And then, but that's animated, you know. So if I had to pick a live action movie, I'd probably say the Peter Pan movie. It's probably hot garbage at this point. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm dating myself when I talk about these old movies like that. But if you're, you know, a lot of people on Twitch are younger than I am, and if you liked Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon, which I love. I mean, I own it. I watch it on repeat. I probably watch that show like from beginning to end. I couldn't even tell you how many times, a dozen times, like all three seasons, at least like 10 times a piece. Like I watch the heck out of that show. And you know, I love Zuko's character. And I remember, you know, I'd probably been watching it for like a couple years when I learned like, oh yeah, that guy who played Rufio in Robin Williams' Hook movie, the Peter Pan movie, so long ago, that the Rufio kid is the voice of Zuko. And then you see him in the studio and he's doing the voice and you're like, oh my god, that is him. And then it just gave me like an added layer of like, now I really like this show. I love this. It's supposed to look kind of like a lavish place. So hopefully it comes off that way. Wow. Okay. Trying to transition this stuff. Don't get lost in the sauce. 50 minutes. 50 minutes, man. We're making some decent time. Colored in here, the city. I gotta get this. I gotta get this dude. I haven't decided on colors, man. I was thinking about it last night. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Kind of throw some auto tones in here. Go. Okay. Yeah. What color do I want to do? Those. Oh my god. I do not get these Resident Evil Outbreak games. I just enjoy the banter between these guys. Oh, there we go. I believe. Is all of this waterfall? Or should I? And here's my marker that I'm still trying to revive and bring back to life. Like I never used it, but it dried up. And I was able to revitalize it once where like the ink flowed out of it really nicely. But yeah. actually is a fitting color for this. Okay. All right. It's getting super muddy, but that's to be expected. Oh, that's a nice color. Go, put it there, put it there. All right. Use some of these colors. This is 1, 3. 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm also glad to see Steve back with the Yo video games. I don't know if something happened or not, but yeah, he was missing for like a week or two. And the three of them would continue to stream, and it never came up. It never they never mentioned anything, so it was hard to contemplate whether something was actually happening or not. But yeah, man, it's getting scared because I was like, man, they play together every week at least. Is that what these games are about? Are they about Raccoon City? Like you're just random citizens within the city as it's like falling? Let's see what's going on over here. Well, I got another 2 hours still. Yeah, I have a meeting. I have a Zoom meeting that I have to go to, but not for like a couple hours. So I'm just keeping an eye on the time. Okay. I don't even know what color you are, but I'm going to use you for that. Let me see. I think the little bushes here. I feel like Bob Ross. It's a happy little bush. And we won't mention that bush. What color? What color are railroad tracks? Like I'm kind of just imagining like metal and wood or something like gray and brown, right? Railroad tracks. Yeah, see? Okay. Alright, so just make it like brown. Brown and warm gray. So I already got those colors out here. I'm using the warm grays right now. So let me just start these. There we go. And I'll just let that ride. And yeah, do I wanna? I mean, I kinda wanna. Let's look at something like a railroad track. Doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. still not feeling this area. Yeah, please gets real blurry, but I'll I'll fix that eventually. Damn. How are we looking? Looking decent. Looks alright. It's not bad for no black inks or micro pens yet. But yeah, I should probably. I need to figure out something for this guy. I got to think about the lore behind him. Damn. So, what am I going to do if this guy represents this? Here, let me do a little more research for a second. So kind of make them, I guess, like golden. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking about these colors. So yeah, here, I'll do this. Kind of give this guy something of a gold base. Okay, and now certain parts of these. No wonder. This actually kind of makes sense if I do it this way. I hadn't colored this character yet, so. Or this prop, whatever we want to call it. And where else? Won't see it here, won't see it there. Okay. not you, but you, I'll use. Go and coup de grace. There's that. Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense now. A little bit. That's another part of making these maps and working on the world in like large chunks like this. Like the world overview is I get to see because a lot of my thumbnails aren't colored or anything like that. Like I get to throw the colors in and then the colors start to impact the world building of everything that I'm working on. So I didn't have any ideas for this prop over here, but now that I have this, it's like, oh, is that what that's gonna be? And now I'm starting to see like how that helps with with kind of like the lore and the world building and things like that. Because I kind of had ideas and it was like, okay, like they're cool ideas and stuff. But now actually coloring it in and seeing like, oh, this if it's gonna be this color, it makes sense why those story elements and the world building that I've worked on are kind of gonna make sense now too. But yeah, I had no idea this guy was gonna be this color. let's do some of this. Go. Hey, what's up, Rabo Art? So I'm more like a lurker than a talker. We'll draw some sketches while I'm here. Love the masses of detail. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, feel free to draw along. You know, I'm not saying much myself either. Sometimes I'll talk a lot, and then other times I tend to zone out. Like right now, I'm just listening to the Yo Video Games guys because I've never seen this game. Uh, Resident Evil Outbreak. I'm guessing it's kind of like what happened to Raccoon City as it was like falling. Yeah, so whatever it is. But yeah, I'm kind of just throwing in like random things. Like I kind of had like base ideas, and now that I'm fleshing them out, it's uh, it's interesting. Uh, there are certain things that have to be certain colors in my eyes, and then once I color those in, it's like okay, now I need to figure out everything else, and then I have to guess like how much do I really care about like the randomness of it all. Okay, so it's like that. All right, so what colors? All right, I guess I'll just do it like this. some gamers too, but recently I'm looking for more traditional artists. Hey man, well you came to the right place. I also do digital art sometimes, but uh, it's been a struggle streaming digital art a little bit just because most of the time what I started doing was just literally recording my monitor as I did like Photoshop or Illustrator or something, and that doesn't produce the best quality results. So yesterday, for the first time, I did some OBS streaming, and I lost the stream at the end, which is weird. Like it never uploaded to my channel, but the stream summary popped up in my email, so I was like, okay, it definitely recorded, and it definitely happened. But yeah, I don't know. I lost it, and that the first time was yesterday, so I just haven't had any opportunity to test it out again. But yeah, that's for like digital stuff. Most of the time I'm doing traditional, just like this stream here. So yeah, you came to the right place, man. I appreciate that too, because I know when I surf the arts page, it's a lot of digital artists, but that's kind of the way the world's going. So it kind of makes sense. Girls and boob drawings. Yeah, it is what it is. I like to draw characters most of the time, so yeah, I guess some girls and boob drawings will definitely come up from time to time on here, but obviously that's not going to be the focus. Um, but yeah, I have female characters that I work on as well, and some of them got boobs, so it'll come up. But yeah, um, I've seen those artists who like that's all they work on, and you know what, they've perfected it. They got it down to a science. So kudos to them. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Oh, do I want to? And where is red? Not red enough. Give me a more redder red. Yeah, like for instance, I have that's one character, that's another set of characters. Like I worked on this female character, and this is all just concept art, so it's not like finished character art or anything like that. But I was just working on certain designs and seeing what I can do with her character with certain ideas. But because she's a little more technologically advanced than other characters of mine, like she has like a bodysuit and things like that. So even though she's in like this icy place, this icy map that I worked on, here we go. Even though she resides like on this ship in this icy place, um, she yeah, she didn't like require all that much clothing, and yeah, it's just the way it worked out. I was just like, she's technologically advanced, she can handle the cold. Like I don't need to put her in furs and all that other stuff. And then I have these characters who look like they're more built for the cold, so that's a little more obvious. And then this guy is something like an ice dragon, so it's like okay, obviously. And it's all just like right now I'm just in the concept art stage of putting everything together. Some frozen statues that are around the gate that the dragon guards, and like I've, I've been working on the outskirts. Thanks, man. I've been working on the outskirts of like everything that I've been working on, so I haven't even started with my main character yet or anything like that. So everything is kind of weird. There's a lot of monsters, a lot of obscure characters, obscure lands, and things like that. And that's what's happening with that's what's happening with this map as well. I have a lot more characters to work on, a lot more exotic lands and things like that. But yeah, I've noticed I have like a lot of monsters, so I haven't really done too many human characters. Fortunately, I have like at least I have like three main human characters that are in this land, or maybe even more. I haven't even really thought about it. And then there's like a dozen side characters in here that are also human. They're not going to require too much concept art behind them, even though they'll probably end up getting a lot because there's like a dozen of them. Yeah, yeah. So I'm an animator, and I kind of took 5 years off, and I wrote this story so I can work on my own stuff. And I kind of, I'm into animes and mangas and things like that. So I'm kind of taking the manga route and gonna create a comic book. So I've written the story. I have all these characters. I have this entire storyline and plot and things like that. And then I did all these thumbnails in my sketchbooks in the course of those 5 years. I can pull some up because I was looking at some earlier. But like I have all these sketchbooks, um, and yeah, like if I go to the latest one, I have all these sketches, and then like in here, I know you can barely see it. It's kind of the point. I don't want to give away too much, but you can see like all I did was kind of thumbnail all these characters, and you know, I have like 400 characters. It's a 40-year timeline. It all follows one main character, but after I started writing the story, I was just like, man, can I even draw 400 characters? And then, once you start doing that, you have to like really tap into the imagination and then start differentiating. Like for instance, this character over here, this character here is going to be he's from this area. I just happened to come across him while I'm looking through this. But things like that. And some of them have color. Like this character here. Um, this isn't his homeland, but he does have a bit of a place in this map. So I was wondering if because he's one of the main characters, kind of. I was wondering if I want to work on him because he's kind of like like a really close to the main character. And I was looking at this one earlier. Uh, all this all this work is for this guy here. I didn't have any colors for him, so that's why when I was coloring him in, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that color. So yeah, I drew a ton of Yeah, yeah, man. I've been at it for years, and then on top of just those characters, because those were the more recent things I worked on. As I was writing the story, I kind of have all this stuff, and here's like the first world map that I put together. So things have changed a little bit from here, but the ice map is just this land, and then the land that I'm working on now is just this land here. So you can see I still have all of this to go through. And all the studies that I'm talking about, I was just studying kind of like fighting game stuff. I know you can barely see it, the camera's so zoomed in, but I have so many environments and things that I kind of put together, and then what I did was I dropped all these thumbnails onto the world map and started creating the world that way. So it's kind of like the sketch is done and the overall idea is done. Yeah, I got hundreds of those. And after I compiled it all together, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to draw a map and actually kind of map out this world. And so that's what's happening. Is I drew a world map, and then I just dropped environments on the world map, and then this map that I'm working on now, this illustration, is just highlighting those environments and their location in the world. And then it kind of gives me lets me push it a little bit further with like how does this world function and what's the story and how is it connected and all these things. Um, so yeah, that's what this is. 5 years. You did a real massive work during this time. Well, yeah. Thanks, man. I've been drawing for like 25 years, like knowingly, like oh yeah, I'm an artist. I'm gonna be an artist. So for 25 years, so I did like a solid 20 years of my art not really going anywhere, and that's why I stopped doing art and started writing a story, was because I did all this amazing work, more or less, and it never amounted to anything. It never went anywhere. It didn't, you know, if that makes sense. So uh, I said, no more, man. I need to do something that means something that's actually going to get me somewhere and actually, you know, be something. So I started writing that story, and it was like everything that I've ever wanted to work on, and that's why it became such a big thing. And yeah, and now I get to work on this, and I love working on this. I've never made a map before. This is the second map. Like I always focused on characters and things like that. And I don't know, I've just really enjoyed this whole journey and process, and now I'm happy to finally start to visualize the writing that I've done and all the background work and the studying and the sketches and everything. And now I'm actually rendering like all of this stuff out, and it's like okay, I had this character who means a certain thing to me, and there's like a connection between him and that girl that I was showing before. And I was just like, okay, they got a whole story. There's even a third character involved with them that I haven't even got to yet because he's from a different part of the world. And it's like, there's a whole thing behind that. And this is just like a side thing. This is kind of just like characters that my main character runs into along the way. But yeah, so there was a lot of work that went in behind the scenes of this. And when I started working on this, I was just like, I wanted to share it. And I'm happy to like kind of share it with the world. I used to be afraid, like, oh, I don't want to lose my ideas or have them stolen or anything like that. And then I kind of just said, screw it. So yeah, I've been working on it, man. So I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're here. Glad we're talking and everything like that. And like I said, it's such a big undertaking that I'm gonna be at it for a while, for like years and years, and it's only gonna get better. The more in tune that I can get. God damn, who's texting me? The more in tune I get with creating maps and doing the concept work for these characters. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a life project. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of written out a timeline as far as a plan to make all this stuff and how much time it's going to take to put all the concept work together and then produce my first comic book that's going to start telling the story, which will then serve as the story and the visuals for the actual animations that I want to work on. It's the whole manga thing. Manga artists, they put together a manga, it gets picked up as a anime, and then they create the anime. Um, that's basically what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it for myself. You know, I want to produce it myself. I want to create it myself. I just doing it all on my own. So yeah, at least for now, in the beginning, who knows what this will end up being, years down the line. But yeah, I anticipate like a decade to start producing the. Well, I'm already like a couple years into that decade, but several years from now, I'll be producing like the actual comic book, and then it'll be years from then that I actually start the animations and things like that. But yeah, I plan to work on it for the rest of my life. It's kind of the point. It's good to never run out of content or ideas. Keep one busy. Exactly. And like I said, it's everything that I've wanted to work on. There's nothing more that I want to work on that's like outside of this and everything like that. Like if anybody wants to partner and wants me to work on their project or anything like that, for sure, I'm down to do that. But me personally, working on my stuff, it's like I can kind of work on anything and it'll be attached to what I'm doing here in some way. Like, where's that illustration? See, like here's another character who resides down here in this area. Oh wait, you can't see him. But like this character here, like I said, they're all pretty obscure and monstrous. Where's like this illustration? Because I'm working on what I'm working on at this time. This was an entry. I digitally colored it and everything else like that. So this one was just drawn and inked traditionally, but then I scanned it in, digitally finished it, and I entered it into a contest. And and yeah, it all I did was like enter it in. I gave a little background story, and because I've worked on stories and things like that, I've worked on my own thing. It was just like, okay, well, I can enter this contest, throw a little bit of my stuff in there, and I don't have to worry. Like this doesn't have really anything to do with my story, but it kind of does. So yeah, everything that I do now is gonna always be attached to this in some way. Just because I've, 5 years writing a story, I kind of ran through all the ideas. Well, I ran through all the chicks with boobs ideas, and then started tapping into architecture and and you know uh, politics and society. Tapped into all sorts of stuff. Oh, here we go. Yeah, exactly. See, you get it, man. Bumping the camera. Sorry. So yeah, man, I did that, and now I'm doing this, and I just kind of I work on it bits at a time. I stream it. I share whatever ideas I can. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the story too much or anything like that. So that way, by the time I get done with the concept work, and then I start telling the stories, and then I actually work on the actual like character boards and character art and things like that. Uh, I'll create that content, and then once I start putting together like the manga for it, should that's when you'll learn the story. You'll learn what all of this is. It's dope. I mean, if you're on Twitch, the way I see it, and the reason why I joined Twitch was because, I mean, this is kind of like if you're into video games and you're into all the video game type of things, uh, yeah, you'll definitely be into the story. The way I was explaining it earlier in the stream, it was like this is kind of like a fighter video game, the movie. Just pick any sort of fighting video game, like Skullgirls or like Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like Marvel versus Capcom, like all the fighter games. Even if you're not into fighters, but you just know what they are. That's what I'm working on. It's kind of like fighter video game, the movie, and then I've created all this nuttiness from that base idea. Yeah, I wonder. I know I detailed a lot of my project, like not like story elements or anything like that, but as far as like the work behind it and everything that I have planned to do, like a lot of it is detailed on my Patreon. It's kind of the point, on my Patreon I offer commissions, so that way you get this stuff, you get behind the scenes into this IP that I'm working on, and then you also get commissions on top of it. So in case you're like, oh man, he has a dope style, I'd like to see him draw my favorite character. The whole idea here is to just recreate uh, Artist Alley and conventions and all that other stuff, just to do it digitally. Yeah, hopefully, conventions become a thing again one day, and with enough success, I can afford to travel around the country and things like that, and like meet you people, meet you guys in person, put face to names and things like that. But yeah, on the Patreon, I kind of told the whole story because it's like I wanted to, on top of sharing all this, I need the support in order to put it together, and at least people on there get to choose whether or not they want to support it. So if they do, at least I know, like, okay, these people really believe in me. Not just like I like Twitch for what it does, and the people that are here, um, I like Patreon for what it does and its model and how it's all set up. And yeah, so on top of all that, you on top of that, you get like commissions and things like that, and you get to see like, oh snap, this guy he's already wrote basically everything I told you. It's kind of written down in there, just like in words in black and white, a little more thought out and broken down and outlined and things like that. But yeah, this is a ton of fun, man, working on this stuff. Like, even though it's not the best looking stuff that I've ever worked on, and I kind of know nothing about maps, and this is kind of crazy to me. Um, because, like I said, my artwork wasn't going anywhere before, and this is this is going somewhere. This is feeding some machine to create this story that's been like building in me, for who knows how long. Would you like to go to IMC again? If it happens again, hopefully. IAMC? I don't know what IMC is. But I'm guessing it's like a convention of some sort. But yeah, I'm in Florida, so I've only gone to conventions in Florida, like in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, any sort of video game convention, anime convention, uh, comic book convention. Most of them are comic book stuff. Like I go to those, so yeah, I definitely would like to go. But I'd also like to travel. Maybe hit up Atlanta. Travel little bits here and there. It starts to become like really costly to like fly out to California or fly out to New York or something like that. So to spend all that money for the flight and to book a hotel for a few days and then try to make enough sales at a booth at one of those things, man, it's tough stuff. Ah, okay. In Paris. Holy shit, dude. You talking about going international? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I want to go to some IMC. I'm gonna look that up today. Actually, let me write that down. I get to talk to a lot of neat people and meet a lot of neat people on Twitch, and they teach me a bunch of things. So IAMC in Paris. I'll check it out, man, for sure. But I'd love to go. I'd love to go international with it. Go hit up Japan. Are you kidding me? Paris, like London, Australia, dude. Hell yeah. But again, that's I'm struggling just to go to Florida once. And even right now, they're just not even a thing yet. But yeah, man, I meet enough cool people like you. I don't see how this could fail or how this couldn't be, the beginning of me being able to go to places like that and do things like that. I do the math of just national flights. I couldn't even imagine the math for an international one. You know, maybe even starting out, it would be like just go international just to, take the L, but go out there just to promote myself out there, so I can meet you in person, and then, and other people, of course, and then, maybe I'll take an L and lose a little bit of money on that, but at least it'll go into like at least promoting myself and what I'm doing here and making people a little bit more aware of it. Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. And that's what it's all about, right? Because even though it's work, you want to have fun with it. Trojan Horse was a unicorn. Takes place in L.A. as far as I know. I don't even know what that sentence means. I know what a Trojan horse is. I know what a unicorn is. Takes place in L.A. as far as I know. Or is that the name of the whole thing? Is Trojan horse was a unicorn is like an actual thing that takes place in L.A. Trojan unicorn. Yeah, I'll check that out. It's also an event. Never was there for the same reason. It's too far. Yeah, I never heard about that. TrojanUnicorn.com. Yeah, I'll check that out. I always was like floored when I'd go to these conventions, and I try to sell my little art, and I meet people from like California or artists and creators from California who are there selling. I was just like, how do they do it, man? Like, how, and they're getting business and they're making sales, and I was just like, oh man. I'm talking years ago at this point. I'm talking, nearly a decade ago. I would just look at them and be like, how did they do it? And you're like, oh yeah, they advertise and promote themselves on social media, da 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 da. They grinded. They did the whole thing. And that's when I was like, okay, if that's what I have to do, man, I'll grind. I'll grind, man. I'll pump out this artwork and create this stuff. It's kind of why my channel is so rough. You know, I kind of just like, I leap before I look, and I just do things, man. You know, I learn best by doing. So it's like, yeah, I don't sit there and study and hum and ha for too long. I kind of just do things and then just hope for the best. That's it. And it seems to be working. You know, I like I said, I get to meet a bunch of neat people on Twitch here. And I'm kind of surprised at the reception that people want like traditional artists. Kind of gives me hope, you know. As an artist, I recognize like a lot of people are more into digital, and it makes sense. You know, digital just looks better, especially on a computer screen at high resolution and things like that. You know, this is a 10-inch by 10-inch drawing, and I'm like right in the middle of it. So it kind of starts off looking good as a pencil sketch, and then I start throwing colors and markers on it. And even though it looks good, it gets like really rough and blotchy and not sharp, you know, because these markers aren't all that sharp. But then once I finish it off and I drop in the black ink and the micro pens and then, you know, the like paint markers and like little touch ups here and there, color pencils to kind of blend things a little bit more. But, you know, it takes a lot of time. I thought like, man, no one's going to have the patience to sit there and watch all these things. But I'm surprised, man. And I'm glad. I'm glad people are looking for traditional artists because that's kind of how I work. You know, when you're at a convention, you kind of got to make the stuff right then and there. Some cameras aren't really appreciative of the real colors. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this map is really coming together. You know, I'm always so close to it that I never really look. You know, I don't stop and smell the roses until after I finish the stream. You know, so like I'll end the stream. What's going on? How much time do I have left before I have this meeting? I have a meeting to go to in the morning. So I set my timer to make sure that I give myself enough time to prepare for it. I got like almost an hour. So yeah, once in about an hour, like when I stop this, that's when I'll actually look at the progress that I've made on this map. And I think you know, working with traditional helps. Like if you're a traditional and a digital artist like me, I think working traditionally helps with the digital stuff just because, you know, in traditional you don't really have a control Z. You can't just undo what you did. You kind of have to live with your mistakes and then patch them up however you can. Um, but when the stakes are like that high, where it's like, yeah, you can't mess this up. Um, when you go to do digital, it's not easier, but it just helps you to learn. Like you can make a mistake digitally, and you don't have to sit there and control Z all day. You could just, you know, you could just paint over it and just continue to work. And I think that's something that you just get by exercising a traditional art muscle. Yeah, some of the best digital art I've seen are people who kind of just go and create it. I remember when I was starting out with Photoshop and things like that, I would kind of, I don't know, like struggle, take my time. I would think a whole lot and not really take action. But yeah, when I'm streaming, it's like, you kind of can't really stop moving, man. You wanna keep going. Yeah, so how we looking? Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, what are these? Are these guys taking a break from their video game? What's happening? Oh, come on. Why does this marker just not work? I hate it. What about this one? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Take a step back and look at this for a second. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just checking, make sure I kind of got all the places. I'm not really missing any places yet or skipping over anything. So yeah, I don't know if I want to add anything here. But yeah, I also need to work on these islands. All right, give me a second. I gotta hit the bathroom. Actually, maybe I'll just cover that up. All right. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think I might be done with the mainland for now, as far as like all this stuff goes. I got some colored pencils. I'll probably smooth out the edge of the shoreline and everything like that. I'll probably do that with pencils. But yeah, I think yeah, and I never colored in these boats either. Probably just pepper in some colors in here. But you know what? I did some research on Mars and the geology of Mars. I should refer to that when I was coloring this guy, but I think I got the color right anyways. As opposed to according to the research I did. I wonder where is that research, by the way? Where would that be? I think it's gonna be in this book, maybe. Give me a second here. You're about to see some of the mad scientist stuff. See, here's your chick with boobs that I used to draw. When did I do this? November 8th, 2010. See, we all draw hot chicks with big boobs, and yeah, here we are 11 years later, and I draw maps, but I draw maps with mermaids with big boobs. Oh, never never goes away. All right, so yeah, this is one of the research books that I have with all sorts of uh, stuff. And I think in here I have the work that I did for Mars. I think it's on here. Yeah, this is all organizing the characters and the classes and all that. This is kind of the big antagonists, uh, mapping out the characters. Damn. See, like check this out. This is something that I did a while back where I was just kind of connecting all the characters. The blue ones are the good guys, the red ones are bad guys, how they're all linked and connected and things like that. And yeah, insanity. This is before I got my laptop last year. Last year I was fortunate enough to buy an old used laptop. And then I started working in Microsoft Excel. And all things like that I do in Excel now, so they're filed that way. But yeah, years ago when I just had paper and pencil, I was doing it like that. Uh, I'm looking for a specific piece of work that I did. I feel like I'm almost there. That's mapping out the people on the moon people. I got moon people in my story. Oh, yeah, so that's going to be back here. Perfect. So yeah, I have all this stuff. I was researching Mars and the metals that are on Mars, and it's kind of color coordinated. It's actually kind of interesting. And I I'd learned, I was like, because I'm creating something, like obviously it has something to do with something that I'm doing here. And yeah, I learned like, there's rare metal in on our planet, and then like not so rare metal, kind of think of like pennies and nickels and quarters, and then, silver, gold, and diamonds and things like that. Brass and bronze. Mars has the same thing, and I believe, yep, cool. So this actually works out, coloring this guy this way. And that was just a guess. But yeah, looking it up. Uh, this right here, yellow, yellow. That's all I needed. I just wanted to confirm that really, really quick. I just wanted to confirm that really quick. I guess that kind of spoils a little bit, saying that thing there has something to do with like Mars rock. What could it possibly mean? Should do that too to get better with characters. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just like I don't play around with this. I don't play around with this artwork stuff. And with the story and all that. I don't play around with the research and the writing. Like I took it very seriously, even though I had no idea what I was doing. Uh, okay, so do I want to do the shoreline, or do I want to pick up? Do I want to pick up where I left off here? How long have we been at this? 2.5 hours? Crap. I might just call this stream for right now. Yeah, you know what? I'll call the stream because I have that meeting coming up. So I should probably start preparing for that meeting. It's a good place to end anyways. I kind of finished more or less the mainland type of stuff. Now I just need to touch up these edges here. And then yeah, next time, maybe later on today, I'll jump on these and then hopefully get that much closer to actually finishing this map, and then it'll just be focusing on these individual locations, doing concept art for the environments and the characters in there. Like I said, I've kind of started it, like this is one of the characters here, and just doing some concept work for him. uh, like I said, that was something else. And then this character as well is a part of this land. So I get to jump back onto these things, and then yeah, this is just a page of like other things that I draw. But yeah, I did a chopper. But yeah, so I think I think I'm gonna call this one quits on this stream. Thanks for joining me, RoboArt, and yeah, man, I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. Go follow, like, and subscribe if you like what you see here. And yeah, gmrdrew.art. That's my website. Um, check it out. You can see everything that I used to do, even all those Dragon Ball Z drawings that I did like 20 years ago. Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. And thanks for joining me, everybody, for the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 98. Continuing these map illustrations, man. This one's really coming along. I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to like sharpen everything out. But either way, 2.5 hours. I'm kind of beat. I gotta go make some coffee. I gotta get ready for this meeting, and I'll be back later on, man. Love y'all. Peace.